Hi, I'm Stephen Skelton. I'm the Libertarian Party candidate for the United States House of Representatives here in District 1 of Washington. Thank you for taking a moment to listen to my message. Now, as Chad Kroeger would say, look at this photograph. But this one doesn't make me laugh. It makes me sad. It makes me sad for our country, and it makes me sad for the voters who believe that these two parties are their only choices. To be honest, it actually worries me a little bit, and I'll explain that later, but it emboldens me as I work to take a House seat from the major parties, and it arms me with the perfect image to put in front of those I wish to persuade, and that's you. They say an image is worth 1,000 words. I think this one is worth far more than that, because it perfectly conveys the abject failure of our parties, their abandonment of responsible governance, and their nation-destroying call to tribalism and opposition to individual liberty. Now, let's measure the zeitgeist in which these photographs were, quite frankly, composed and disseminated. Let's measure this response from the two highest office holders in our government against the challenges faced by our nation at this time. Despite having a 3-month notice of a novel zoonotic virus headed our way, the Democrats and Republicans left us so unprepared for the pandemic that panicked governors felt they had no choice but to shut down our nation's economy, put 40 million of us out of work, destroy countless small businesses, and bring about a second Great Depression. Then, as if that wasn't bad enough, a policeman callously murders a black citizen in front of a crowd of people recording on their phones. This sets off nationwide protest and rioting and looting, for crying out loud, even secession in Seattle. Untold billions in property damage as small businesses in our major cities, already on life support from the pandemic, looted and burned. It's estimated that more than 100,000 of these small businesses will never return. And red and blue America are more at each other's throats than I've ever seen them. And each is beginning to doubt that the other is still acting in good faith. And in the midst of all of this turmoil, these photographs are the best that the two highest officials in our government can present to us as solutions. This is what they have for us: brazen and open calls to further tribalism, vain and empty displays of moral superiority, and a reminder to each of us which team protects them from the harm the other team desires to inflict on them with the full force of the federal government. Not a solution in sight, only propaganda and further escalation of our bitter divisions. Friends, the first declaration of my campaign is that the two-party regime in D.C. has abandoned responsible governance and that they must be replaced. This photograph is the finest summation of the irredeemability of our two-party duopoly that I have ever seen. More than anything that comes across our Twitter or Facebook feeds, more than any foreign enemy, more than any terrorist group, nothing is more of a threat to your personal safety and economic well-being than these two parties controlling the full force of our federal government. They are the danger. These are the people who decide when and where we go to war and against whom we spend our blood and treasures. Are they worthy of that power? These are the people we've entrusted with our national credit card and our monetary printing press. 20 years ago, the national debt stood at $6 trillion. Today, it's $26 trillion, and it will grow another trillion by year's end. And guess what? That's when our debt will be larger than our entire economy. We have to take the checkbook and the credit cards away from these people, but most importantly, we need to look at this photograph, because these are the people that set us at war against each other. This tribalism must end, and the way to end it is to make D.C. less important and remove these parties from power. Because besides debt, war, corruption, and scandal, the one thing Democrats and Republicans always agree on is that each should use the full weight and force of the federal government to impose their morality and their worldview at the expense of the freedom and liberty of, well, the rest of us. The answers lie in a less powerful government run by truly tolerant politicians. But this solution can never come from these two parties because in the most trying time our nation has faced in my lifetime, this is all they have to offer: tribalism and division. I can hear you saying now, yeah, but no libertarian can ever get elected. I get that, and in 434 other congressional districts, I would agree with you, but not this one, not the 1st District of Washington. There are unique circumstances here that make it possible. I explain in a video linked in the description. Please watch that. And please join my campaign, share my content, volunteer your time, donate, and vote. This campaign is the tip of the spear. This can be the first victory over the Democrat-Republican regime in D.C. Join me. Thank you for listening to my message.